وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين قل أغير الله أبغي ربا وهو رب كل شيء ولا تكسب كل نفس إلا عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم
And Josh on the beat. When Guru never show it, say hand on show, say that I'm man, the Lagos, country getting plenty doctors, money come fly, doctor come turn, when Guru come show, hospital close, everybody running, church shuts down, professional doctors, inter goes to, people don't show for the big man house, hospital nadago, facilities nadago, education nadago, power supply na zero. Now Guru don't show for area. News headline don't talk. Set of staff don't carry. Say governors don't carry. Say ministers don't carry. Say senators don't carry. If you like president, you don't carry. But rich and poor go suffer this thing. Hospital they no get. Facilities they no get. 9.1 billion to pocket. Professional doctors inter goes to London hospital close for guys. When Guru never show, say he don't show. Say that I'm man in the Lagos, country getting plenty doctors. Money come fly, doctor come turn. Just welcome to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom. Animal City. Animal City. I welcome to Animal Country. Oh, Animal Country. Zoological Kingdom. Zoological Kingdom. Welcome to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom. Animal City. Oh, Animal City. You are welcome to Animal Country. Oh, Animal Country. Welcome to Zoological Kingdom. Zoological Kingdom. Yeah. Headache, worry, rich man go to America. But now we matter don't serious. America love ya again. Youth hospitals them say no. Train doctors them say no. Build a school them say no. Give us lights them say no. Security na zero. If poor man sick he go die here. Poor man no get him out. Poor man no fit dog. Poor man life na nonsense. Animals everywhere. Animals get value pass human. Them send animals to carry on. Animals shoot people. Animals kill people. Animals murder people. No value for human. When Guru never show, stay hand on show. Say that I'm man in the Lagos, country getting plenty doctors. Money come fly, doctor come cure. When Guru come show, hospital close, everybody run, church shut. Professional doctors, that goes to you get on show for the big man house. Welcome to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom. Animal City. Animal City. Welcome to animal country. Animal country. Zoological kingdom. Zoological kingdom. Welcome to animal kingdom. Animal kingdom. Animal city. Animal city. Welcome to animal country. Animal country. Welcome to zoological kingdom.
Alright.
Zoological kingdom.
Animal kingdom. That is what the Zoological Republic is. Welcome to today's edition of IPOB Radio Biafra Asia Desk, where we discuss the issues as it affects with the indigenous people of Biafra all over the world. The people of Biafra who are being persecuted, the people of Biafra whose land has been under occupation for a very long time, the people of Biafra, the people who have undergone series of killings under the Nigerian state. We have suffered genocide. They have exploited the resources in our land, and our land is left underdeveloped. So these are the things that have been propelling some of the issues, some of the agitation for the freedom of the indigenous people in Nigeria. So you are welcome to today. Today is the 25th day of October 2021. My name remains MAZI Kalu, and we are coming to you from IPOB Asia, with the indigenous people of Biafra living in Asia. We have seen what is going on in our land. There is a military invasion in our communities. Few days ago, they went to Izombe, the Nigerian military. They killed a lot of people and they burned the community down. This is not the first time these things are happening. We could remember it had happened in Baramatu Kingdom in River State. It has happened in Akwa Ibom. It has happened at Ekakbara in Abia State, in Aba. So the Nigerian military, their preoccupation is to kill unarmed civilians, whereas the main purpose and objective of the army should be to protect the territorial integrity of the state, and by so doing, protect the citizens of that country. But what we see in Nigeria today is that the Nigerian state has been recruiting these terrorists into the Nigerian army. Maybe some people don't know that in Nigeria today you have more than 5 terrorist groups operating in Nigeria today. These terrorist groups include Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, Islamic State of West African Province. There is the bandits. There is the Fulani herdsmen. All these terrorist activities are going on in Nigeria on a daily basis, and the government does nothing about it. So when you see that all these killings, all these atrocities going on, is continuously going, and the Nigerian state will rather focus their attention on the eastern region where there is peaceful agitation. Because if you look at what is happening in Nigeria, you see that it is the Nigerian state that sponsors all this insecurity that is ongoing in Nigeria, because they are even making money out of the death of their own people. So these are the challenges that we face. Even in as much as we are living in the diaspora, we must always remember what is going on in our various communities. Even as all these things are going on, the only thing that is important to the so-called leaders in our land is election. every 4 years, they come and they conduct elections. After conducting the election, nothing to show for it. Nigeria is the only country whereby this year, people are crying that this year is very, very bad. But next year, when you enter next year will be even worse than this year. This has been the cycle since we were born. They continue to tell us that tomorrow go better till today. We never see any better. I remember when I was a kid, there was a jingle that they always play on the radio back then. I was very small. I didn't even understand what they were saying. It is only when I grew up I understood. Okay, this is what they were saying. They were saying that education for all by the year 2000. When they were saying this, and I have not even entered primary school. I was hearing this thing on the radio. BCA Radio, Broadcasting Corporation of Abia State, when Abia State was created new. Till today, there is no education for all. Some people will continue to cajole you to think that it is bad government or bad leaders. The problem of Nigeria is not bad leader. Are you going to tell me that since 1960, Nigeria have been unable to produce a good leader if it is the problem of leadership? The problem of Nigeria is not the problem of leadership. The problem of Nigeria is the foundation itself. Nigeria was created without the consent of the people. That is the number one. Nigeria was created in order to service British interest because Nigeria was formerly a company. That is the Royal Niger Company, which the British established. From Royal Niger Company, they now enter into amalgamation and created Nigeria. Until today, our people are dying. Our people are being killed. Our people are being decimated by these terrorists who have taken over the realm of affairs in Nigeria. So this should be a very big concern to all of us who are in Asia, because what is going on in back home is not something that we should just overlook and continue doing our businesses. That is not how it's supposed to be. So this is the reason why we are here today, trying to look at some of the news that is making headlines today, because as it is, the indigenous people of Biafra, led by MAZI Kalu, we have given out a press statement. The leadership of IPOB has given out a statement that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, MAZI Kalu, must be released unconditionally because he has committed no crime. He's an innocent man. So as a result of this, the government, the people in the helm of affairs in the government are panicking. They are telling the indigenous people of Biafra not to sit at home, that sitting at home will hurt the economy. What type of economy will it hurt? Do we have any economy? We don't have roads. Look at our area markets. Look at Orata Road. Everywhere now is a dump. It's a swamp. You can't possibly walk there freely. Not only the bad roads, there are bandits, there are criminals, there are terrorists everywhere hiding in our bushes. There are government-sponsored daily killings in Nigeria today. All these things are happening. Are we going to keep quiet and continue to do our businesses looking for money? These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. The center is no more holding. Therefore, people are agitating to be free. People are asking for a referendum to be conducted for Nigerians, for indigenous people that are trapped in Nigeria to have their say, to determine their future. The British people, they conducted a referendum and they left the EU. Why is it that in Africa, when people are agitating for freedom, they are being killed? They are labeled terrorists. The burning of our communities, they burned Izombe. They killed a lot of people there. And again, yesterday, they also went to the same Imo State in Oso. They killed a lot of people. They burned houses. Why is the Nigerian military committing all these atrocities? Why do we have the court of law? Why do we have the police? If someone have committed a crime in a community, is it not the duty of the police to arrest them and bring them to justice? Is it justifiable for the Nigerian military to go to a community and burn the community down? What sort of thing is this? Nigeria continues to recruit Boko Haram terrorists into the army. And when they are recruited into the army, they are sent down to Biafra land to go and kill people. This is what is happening in our land today. How are we going to sit down and allow all this thing to continue happening? And the people will come to you and tell us to go and vote. Why are we voting? The one that we have been voting, what have we achieved? Nothing. Our land is still under occupation. There are no roads, no water, no electricity, no employment, nothing to show for it. So why do we have to be voting? Why do we have to continue to do the same thing that doesn't give us any profit, and we continue to do it? It is only a fool who will continue to do it, and they will continue to do it. So this morning, I'm here to show us a little video of the atrocities of the Nigerian military in various communities in Biafra land. They have been burning communities, they have been destroying our properties without the due process of law. What is all this? Why are we passing through all these things? Why is the Nigerian military burning our communities? Why? This is very bad. Very, very, very bad. How can the Nigerian military go to a community and burn it down just like this? What kind of thing is this?
This is inside another office.
These are
the communities.
They burned down
destroyed
all the houses
by the Nigerian military.
There is nothing remain.
Look
all
at the community.
buildings. See this one. This one is still burning.
What has these people done to deserve this kind
everywhere.
of thing?
All the houses was burned
These
down.
are people's property.
All the this might end up in place.
This man, oil and gas, and that will destroy. I can. They destroy everything. Everything, goodbye, nothing, everything that went. Everything.
Now, Asian dogum, Abon are down completely. All the houses was burned down. All the houses was burned down. Nothing remained. Nothing remained. Nothing remained. Nothing remained. Everywhere was burned down. Nothing remained. As you can see.
So sad.
Wow, that kind of thing.
This is so bad. This is what we are talking about, you know. All these things, all these atrocities are ongoing, and those that we have in our land as our leaders, they are not even concerned about all these things that is ongoing, all these killings. A lot of our youths are languishing in jail. Our youths, they are being detained extrajudicially without going through the process of law. This is how they have been destroying our communities. But in the north, the terrorists that are killing people, the terrorists that have shot down a military airplane, the terrorists that has invaded the Nigerian Army training headquarters, those communities where these events happened, the Nigerian Army never gone to those places to burn it down. This is to tell you that our people are being targeted in Nigeria. You ask yourself, why is it that the governors, the politicians, all those people that are campaigning, that are asking people to come out to campaign for votes, why is it that they are not seeing all these things? Why is it that they have seen these things happening in our place? In the north, they are pacifying the bandits, the criminals, the terrorists. They are pacifying them, paying them huge amount of money, pampering them. But in our own land, you see the same governors, they are the ones killing our people. The Imo State administrator, Hope Uzodimma, he has been killing a lot of people in Imo State. He is the one that invites all this military to come and destroy our communities. They are the one that has been sponsoring these unknown gunmen to kill and destroy in order to rope in the indigenous people of Biafra that are agitating for self-determination peacefully. So these are the atrocities that our people are facing on a daily basis. Whereas in the north, they are doing it, pacifying these terrorists happily without even having remorse for what they are doing. They are killing people in our land and they are pacifying terrorists in the north.
In Katsina State. He told reporters that the operatives had to offer 7 bags of rice to the bandits who he said were operating in Dusima local government area of the state.
We are not working for only custom.
Nigeria custom.
We are working for the nation and we are working for you people.
Can you imagine?
I sacrificed my life to go to Dusima to enter the bush where the bandits are. If I tell you last time we have encounter with them, to the extent that they are a little bit friendly with us. We see 37 bag of rice. They say, okay, if we are to go, you have to take 7 bags. We give them.
The Nigerian custom is there. The Nigerian immigration is there. The police is there. The army is there. Look at them. They are there. Okay, now they know where these bandits are, where these terrorists are. They know their location. They know them one-on-one. And these are government security officials. Why can't they go and arrest them the way they have been arresting our youths in the East? Why can't they go and they bomb those places the way they have been bombing Olo? Why? Because there is an agenda to use these terrorists that they have recruited all over, even from the Sahel. They have recruited them, and those Boko Haram members that were detained during the last administration, they now bring all of them together for a purpose. They are inside the military. They are undergoing training. Even the Americans are training them. The British are also training them, because all these people were brought together, terrorists, bandits, all these criminals, they were brought together because they are Fulanis. They are recruited into the army. And the United States military is training them. The British military is training them, training Boko Haram members in the army. After undergoing those trainings, they would send them to our land to go and kill, to go and bomb communities, to go and destroy. This is another one. That is what is happening in our place. These terrorists were being put there by the Nigerian state for a purpose. They are killing our people every day. This one happened just yesterday in Osu, the same Imo State. They are killing our people, burning our communities.
Nigeria soldier is doing in Osun local government.
Why must this thing continue to happen to us?
Will be,
and we all are sojourning abroad in the diaspora. We don't know what is happening in our land.
Nigeria
if we don't do something now, we will not have anywhere to go back to. Our communities are under occupation. The Fulanis are everywhere. What are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? The governors are only interested on the elections, and they are not interested in what happened to our people. They are not interested in the military invasion of our communities, burning them down. What have we committed? What have we committed? These governors are evil. The same way they had a meeting with our leader in 2017. And after the meeting, they went to kill him. I saw a Ebonyi State governor went to Adoration Ministry to go and give them money, to give Father Mbaka money. I don't know why. Father Mbaka should not go back to his old ways, because we have seen that he has started saying the truth, and the politicians, they don't like it. That is the reason why Dave Umahi went there yesterday at Adoration Camp to give them money and told Mbaka what he should be saying at the Adoration ground. We are just passing a message to Father Mbaka. Father Mbaka, you must stand on the truth. You must stand with the people. You must stand with your congregation. Do not allow these criminal politicians to come back to you again, to use you, to use your adoration ministry to encourage people to go out to vote. We are no more voting until our leader is out. Why are these governors not talking about how to release our leader, since they know that it is the freedom of our leader that will guarantee whatever they want to do? Because if our leader is continuing to be detained, unlawfully. Our people will never accept that. So they should be careful, because this is the time in 2017 when our leader was there, open the table for a discussion. After reaching some agreements, they went back and bring the army to come and they kill. And today they are forcing people to go and vote. They are forcing the indigenous people of Biafra who have decided to sit at home that they must not do that. You don't have any rights. You don't have any right to stop people from exercising their freedom of association or freedom of movement if they want to sit down at home. So these governors are just liars. Ebonyi State governor, look at him. He was there in 2017. They reached an agreement with our leader. At the end, they stabbed him at the back. Father Mbaka must be very, very careful. When Dave Umahi starts coming to adoration ground, it is for a purpose. For him to bring this money to adoration ground, it is for a purpose. Father Mbaka must be very, very careful. Father Mbaka must not go back to his old ways. As long as the people are with him, he must stand by the people and speak the truth all the time. Let him not allow the politician to bribe him with money, because that is the purpose of that money. Why is it that Dave Umahi, is it today that adoration ground was opened? Why hasn't he gone there before to give the money? Why now? So we must be very, very careful and know what these evil people are planning to do in our land. So this is the message that we have today. So now you see the killings going on in our land. These politicians, they are not talking about it. Even our people are asking for our leader to be free. Still, these politicians, they are not doing anything about it. So they went and connived with the federal government to bring our leader to the court with the intention to douse the minds of our people and thereby allowing them to go on with their campaigns and their shenanigans called election. But this will never happen. We will never allow that. This will never happen in our land. As long as our leader is still under unlawful incarceration, there will never be peace. That is the fact. There will never be peace. Because since we have been voting, what have we achieved? What have we gained? We have gained nothing. Therefore, we call upon all Biafrans all over the world, especially those in Biafra land, to start now to make their preparations. We will do our best to see that every Biafran in the diaspora will call home and give their families things that will sustain them during this period of lockdown, because we are going to lock our land down, because it belongs to us until our leader is freed. That is the voice of the people. Voice of the people must be respected. That is what the people of Biafra have decided to do. So if Dave Umahi, if Anyoba, all these politicians, if they are serious, they want to conduct their elections, they must first of all go and release our leader, because our leader have committed no crime. You cannot rendition our leader, kidnap him in Kenya and break international law, and you come back again to the Nigerian court to come and judge him. It is never done. So what we are saying is that we are going to lock our communities, our land down if they refuse to release our leader. The message is very clear. The position of the people is very clear. The position of the indigenous people of Biafra is we seek for self-determination. We ask for the freedom of our leader, unconditional release of our leader, and a date for referendum for our people to decide if they want to be part of Nigeria or not, because we can't see anything. We can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. We have been looking at this tunnel for 60 years, and we can't see any light at the end of this tunnel. Therefore, we want to try it another way. Let us go back to the way we were before the British came and created Nigeria. That is the message that we have today. So everybody must get ready and get prepared for what is to come. So let us listen to what our lawyer says after the court day with our leader on the 24th day of October 2021, whereby at least the indigenous people of Biafra, we can confirm that our leader is alive. Then the next step is the freedom of our leader. If the politicians, if the governors are very serious, they want to conduct their elections, they know what to do. They must hearken to the voice of the people, because the voice of the people is the voice of God. So this is what our lawyer have to say.
I don't see any remarkable difference between the Nnamdi Kanu of the old and the Nnamdi Kanu of 21st October. The only thing I discerned, I could see, was that he has lost a lot of weight. I think everybody noticed that. So I do believe that the loss of weight has a whole lot to do with the conditions of his detention in Nigeria, which is very restrictive and uncomfortable and very degrading. And I think also it's indicative of what he passed through in Kenya when he was renditioned there in late June 2021.
So apart from the weight loss, nothing again where you see?
Before his rendition, Nnamdi Kanu was receiving treatment for a heart condition called heart murmur. And, you know, of course, he has an extreme form of hypertension. His medical report is a matter for public consumption through the facility of the processes we filed in that regard. He was receiving treatment in Texas, United States, back in February this year for that. And when he entered Kenya sometime in May, he also made contact with a hospital in Kenya to treat these conditions. And these conditions persist. And our thesis, our position is that the DSA's facility is, you know, a poster exemplar of what detention facilities in Nigeria are like in terms of inadequacy of medical facilities. I don't believe that DSA's facility has the competence or the medical competence to take care of his medical condition, which we consider life-threatening.
Okay, now we don't finish for the appearance. Many Nigerians want to know what happened inside the court during the trial. Even top people, journalists, who are supposed to bring that information, they don't allow some of them enter inside the court. So you can tell us what happened for inside the courtroom before and after Nnamdi Kanu pleaded not guilty.
What happened was that, you know, it took a little while before they brought him inside. So when they brought him inside, it wasn't in chains. If you recall, on 29 June 2021, when they presented him subsequent to the rendition, he was in chains. He was in manacles, and that's unconstitutional. You shouldn't be doing that, suspects. Nigerian Constitution says you shouldn't. The Supreme Court of Nigeria said you shouldn't. So they, well, anyway, on 21st October, they didn't. So he wasn't in manacles. He wasn't in handcuffs. So he walked freely inside the confines of the courtroom, and, you know, he received salutations from his counsel and gathered other people who were in the court, and we had opportunity to have photo opportunities with him. We snapped pictures with him, and it was a more relaxed atmosphere from what it was the last time he wasn't presented in court. It wasn't raucous, it wasn't noisy. and only few people were, of course, allowed inside the courtroom, and I believe that had more to do with the COVID protocols. Of course, you know, the prosecution made a presentment of the amended charges. If you recall, they had amended these charges a few days to the hearing, and again, they did another amendment, which I considered more of sua sponte on the spot. And of course, there was no opportunity that the defense has. I don't think we were given sufficient opportunity to go home and study these charges to see how our client would respond to them. But again, the judge wanted a plea to be taken, and that's exactly what happened. So a plea was taken, and I don't think that has prejudiced the challenges, the constitutional challenges we have to these charges, which will come up on the 10th of November.
Okay, on Friday, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Defense, to Abubakar Malami, he hold press conference on Friday, and need to update here. He read plenty things where Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB do. Some of the things we talk, he say, in some appeals for Nnamdi Kanu, saying instigate violent attacks for democratic institutions like correctional centers, police stations, INEC offices, and others between October 2020 and June 2021. As Malami talked this thing on Friday, you don't tell your client, Nnamdi Kanu, about this development.
You have asked me this question now about the press conference that was done by the Attorney General on Friday. It's quite surprising that a day after these hearings, I think it was a day after or 2 days after, the Attorney General saw the occasion to address a press conference, you know, that is diametrically removed from what happened in court. You see, Attorney General should be reminded that, you know, despite his duality of role under Nigerian Constitution, he's also the Attorney General of everybody. His job is not regime protection. His job is to uphold the law and see that justice is done to every Nigerian citizen, and even foreigners who happen to find themselves in Nigeria. What he appears to be saying on Friday is akin to saying that the witch cried at night and the baby died in the morning. Therefore, the witch killed the baby. You see, he read off all these allegations without substance. He never presented any evidence. And we have this particular one concerning the NSAS protest. We had commissions of inquiry across the country, particularly in Lagos. And I think they had one in Imo State as well that I know personally about. And there was nothing from any of these commissions of inquiry that returned an indictment of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB in the aftermath of the NSAS protest. So that accusation was made in bad faith, and it's intended to poison the minds of the public and also to prejudice the mind of the court as well. It's a highly prejudicial interview, and we are studying the contents to see whether there is going to be any legal reactions that should come from our side.
Okay, we never finished with the accusation where Malami knocked for Nnamdi Kanu death. He also told say on 21st October 2020, your client do online calling radio program or when use Radio Biafra to instigate IPOB members and
Wait, listen, I understand the question. You see, this matter is sub judice.
I want to break it down.
No, I can't allow us to go into an excursion of what is before a competent court of law in Nigeria. If the Attorney General doesn't want to keep the rules of sub judice, this is a matter before the court. If he has any evidence that our client was caught up in any wrongdoing or criminality, he should know better than anybody else that the proper forum for presentation of that evidence is a court of law, not calling press conferences. So if the Attorney General is preempting the Nigerian judiciary, if the Attorney General is disrespecting the Federal High Court I will not play that game and stay here and disrespect the Federal High Court. I will wait for him to come before the court with any evidence that he claims to possess, so we can meet him in court toe to toe. If there was any radio program, a respected medium like BBC could have been aware of it more than my humble self. So if the Attorney General monitored any radio program, I think there was something about a radio program that was monitored in Enugu, not in Abuja. And you begin to wonder, what is MAZI Nnamdi Kanu doing, facing a Federal High Court in Abuja? He should be facing a Federal High Court in Enugu. So there are just so many issues here bordering on prosecutorial misconducts of the extreme degree, and these things will be ventilated better within the confines of where we have the privilege of ventilating these things, which is the courtroom. I should not be seen to be subjecting or succumbing to these antics by the Attorney General of subjecting MAZI Nnamdi Kanu to a media trial. You said the press conference was on Friday. Today is Saturday. So I'm telling you, we are studying the contents of the press conference to see whether it is necessary for us as lawyers to join issues with him in the media or to wait for him in open court. Well, that brings me to the constitutional action that I brought on behalf of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu before the High Court of Abia State. That action, as you all know, is called Fundamental Rights Action. And same Attorney General has filed an application before the High Court of Abia State requesting for extension of time to respond. So why did he now turn around, instead of responding to the suit that I filed in Abia State or filing whatever he has before the High Court in Abuja? Now he turns around to come before the media to be spewing out all these accusations that lack substance and material evidence. So that is the question. The question, again, I'll repeat, is if the Attorney General has something that he believes to be cogent and material, he has a forum where he should present those things. And that forum is not before the Nigerian public, but before the courts of the land, which are now considering the various processes that are ongoing before them.
You were responding to the accusation by the Federal Federation, when you talk, say, Nnamdi Kanu provoke IPOB members and the ESM members to carry out the killings of APC chieftain Ahmed Bola and the husband to late GG of NAFDAC, brother Mr. Chike Akunini, say, now him now instigate IPOB and ESM members to carry out those things. How do you react?
Well, regarding these accusations by the Attorney General that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu instigated certain killings, including that of Dr. Akunili and the APC chieftain and the others, the unrest that we have in Anambra State at this point in time. That's what I think he's referring to. I am here to tell you that we have charges in open court. The Attorney General have filed charges that don't contain these allegations. So I think the best place to address these allegations, or if he has any evidence, is the courtroom before the Federal High Court, coming to the Nigerian public to begin to adduce new allegations that are different from what is before the court, I think is improper.
Now let me talk about anything concerning this and the Anambra elections. The elections will happen November 6th. So what do you think about the democratic dispensation of your clients as related to the November 6th election for Anambra State?
Well, you see, there are more important issues in Nigeria than elections. Elections can come and go, but those issues will remain. The issues are clear, that a lot of people who are Nigerians are no longer happy being Nigerians. It doesn't make them unpatriotic. It doesn't make them criminal. One of the ways citizens express their unhappiness with the system or with how their country is going is by engaging in agitations. And my clients happen to be engaged in agitation. And that agitation is informed by their right to self-determination, which is not a crime. I don't think criminalizing the demand of a people, of millions of people. You see, this is beyond the IPOB. The restiveness in this country is also rampant in the western part of the country. And parts of the north are also restive. I'm not talking about the terrorists in the north, but civil restiveness. So it indicates an overall unhappiness that is coming from vast majority of Nigerians with the way things are, with the way the system is structured. And that is something that does not deserve a bullet. It does not deserve prosecution, which is now turning to be a persecution. What it deserves is dialogue, civil engagement, constructive engagement. That's the only way you get to the position where everybody will be comfortable with an arrangement for a new Nigeria that would ensure equity and social justice for all. If somebody is saying, I want out, I don't want to be a Nigerian anymore, he's not committing any crime. And that is why you see this slew of nations around the world being very understanding of the matter and offering political asylum to members of IPOB. Number one is Britain. You see, if what IPOB is doing is illegal, is criminal, why would a major power like United Kingdom consider that IPOB members are entitled to asylum in UK? You see, the basic requirement for asylum all over the world is guided by this. Anybody that possesses a well-founded fear of persecution, simply because he possesses, he subscribes to a political opinion the government of the day is wishing to suppress by means of punishment of some sort, that qualifies you for protection, for refugee status, for asylum status. IPOB members have been found across the world as a people that possess a legitimate political opinion, which is self-determination, that the government of the day is wishing to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. That is what we are dealing here. It's bigger than any election. And anybody that is asking you for a referendum is conducting himself within the framework of the law. He's not asking for war. You shouldn't face him with war. Referendum is a civil demand, and it had produced very good results in the past. Within the Federation of Nigeria itself, it was a referendum that created the fourth region of Midwest. And outside of it, it was a referendum that they took western part of Cameroon from Nigeria and gave it to Cameroon, and took the former Sadana province of Cameroon and gave it to Nigeria, the present-day Adamawa and parts of Taraba states. So what we are talking about here is not a situation that requires the government to prioritize the levying of violence against the people that are not violent.
Okay, now on election matters we talk about. My next question is say, your client, Kalu, you know whether he don't give any order, say making members no vote for the upcoming election for Anambra State. You know whether he don't talk say no election will vote for the southeastern region.
I can tell you on good authority that what concerns at this point in time is this question. The question is that the prosecutor, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has lost her jurisdiction, her authority to try him in court because of the extraordinary rendition. This is what is confronting right now. Nothing compares at all. That is the most important task at hand, that someone would be subjected to such flagrant violation of international law and the municipal laws of Kenya and Nigeria, and then you think you can subject that person to trial? No, you can't. This is what concerns my client Nnamdi Kanu at this point, and that's what we are dealing with.
So what did they try to say the Anambra State election will concern them at this time?
What I'm trying to say is that the matter of the moment that the Nigerian public should concern itself about is what happened to him. If it's not important, I don't see why a very strong, advanced, powerful nation like United States should be filing something in Nigeria requesting for extradition of Abba Kyari to United States to answer to some criminal allegations. If that's not important, all they needed to have done is to come to Nigeria and rendition him by force. So this is a very important subject that I think Nigerian public should advert its minds to. And the second one I want to point to is the what I have seen as the reluctance of the British government to exact her diplomatic influence over this matter. Nnamdi Kanu is a dual citizen. At the very best, he's a dual citizen. As the very worst, he had publicly renounced his Nigerian citizenship. But let us assume, for purposes of this conversation, that he's a dual citizen of Nigeria and Britain. That does not justify Nigeria renditioning him in this way. Britain wouldn't have renditioned him as well. Britain has a public policy against extraordinary rendition that dates back to 1984, when Nigeria attempted to rendition Omar Diko. It didn't succeed, but it drew countervailing and strong diplomatic responses from Britain. Britain cut diplomatic relations with Nigeria for 2 years. They arrested 17 persons, convicted 4, who served between 6 to 8 years imprisonment in UK, and they were subsequently deported. And the Nigerian aircraft that was going to be the vessel for the rendition, was interdicted in Britain. So that sort of response is what we expect could have occurred in this situation of Nnamdi Kanu. Whether it's going to occur, I don't know. I don't know what they are doing, covertly or otherwise, but we haven't seen any strong actions by the British government towards the direction of protecting the rights of their citizen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
The allegations still they say the sponsors of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, then some day Nigeria, some day abroad. How you go take react to this story where they fly your camera?
Well, talking about sponsors, I think all sponsors should be named. They should start by naming the sponsors of Boko Haram from even before the present government came to power. The sponsors of Boko Haram were well known to government. They said it themselves, even recently, that they know the sponsors of Boko Haram. Why are they not naming them? So let us have a situation where you name sponsors of everything. You don't just make a wide allegation of sponsors without naming names. Name names.
Get people where their business don't scatter, and they don't lose money because of all the kata where they happen for Southeast region and even Nigeria at large. And putting your client
You see, what is going on here, which I don't want the media to be hoodwinked into playing a part, is this trial by ordeal. Nnamdi Kanu here, Nnamdi Kanu there. What about ISWAP, Islamic State in West African Peninsula, that now possesses a weapon that threatens civil aviation in this country? There have been media reports recently, credible media reports, that Nigerian security or Nigerian government had to pay certain humongous amount of money to retrieve a projectile or some kind of a missile possessed by the terrorists that could down any civil aircraft in this country, including that of the president. And we're here thinking Nnamdi Kanu is the problem of this country. Nnamdi Kanu is the solution to the problems of this country. I can tell you that of good authority. Anybody that listens to him very well and keeps an open mind will be seeing him spewing solutions, not problems. The problems of this country are bigger than what we are talking about. So making him the poster boy for all the problems of the country is the most unfortunate thing that has happened in recent times. It is trial by ordeal. If you want to solve the problem of this country, you start from the head. The fish rots from the head, and we know where the head of this country lies. Then when you get past that, you go to the real terrorists, Boko Haram, ISWAP, the militants, which the entire world have gathered together and declared the terrorists. How can Nigeria be isolated in her declaration of IPOB as a terrorist organization and no single nation in the world has fallen in line to do the same thing? It's a very, very topical question that should be put out there. People should think about it. Instead, countries all over the world are doing the opposite. They are saying IPOB is not a terrorist organization. That means MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. So this prioritization of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu as a singular problem this nation is facing is one of the pointers
and
to what is
so. We are not
wrong with this country, Nigeria of the present era. It is wrong. It shouldn't happen.
So if you be Nnamdi Kanu, you know they there, but when they see you now as Nnamdi Kanu mouthpiece, waiting you go tell Nigerians we don't suffer one loss or the other. How you go take comfort them?
Where the comfort is given to Nigerians is very simple. Tell your government to listen to voice of reason. That's how he puts it. And that voice of reason is to conduct a referendum. That's what he's been saying all along. Nothing else. And that very position he has taken root, not only in Igbo land, in Southeast. He has supporters, millions of supporters across South. And he's also garnering supporters in middle Nigeria and even up in the north. Nnamdi Kanu is the voice of the downtrodden. Anybody, in fact, he represents, the voice of justice. So if you listen to him and as a government and keep an open mind, what he is saying really is not something that should threaten the state. It's something that, in the end, will benefit everybody. So it's not something you levy a war of attrition against, whether it's a judicial or prosecutorial war or military war. It's something that you call him to the table and engage him constructively and ask him questions. How do we get to saying yes? He's not a lone voice in the wilderness. He represents the voice of millions of people that cuts across Nigeria.
Nnamdi Kanu dey for DSS and the trial to go on. Yet everything still dey go on as usual. Which people where they support Nnamdi Kanu for Nigeria? Where they dey?
It's very
business where they do where we say even as if they for DSS and things still dey go on.
It's a very good question. If by everything that is going on, you mean the civil sit at home, the overwhelming success of the civil sit at home, if that's what you mean by everything that has been going on while he's being detained, that underscores that he's in charge. That underscores his popularity. That underscores his influence and reach. And that underscores the legitimacy of what he demands. He's in incarceration. He's incarcerated. But look at what is going on. People are sitting at home on their own, voluntarily, civilly. And you want to ignore that? And you think you can subdue it by what? The only way you can deal with that is to talk about it.
My last question for you. Still that Thursday, I hear as the supporters will come court after they sing, they happy as everything they go on for court. They still talk say that election, November 6th, say they no go. Why then they talk?
Well, them still talk say, me, they still the talker. The most important things in this country are not being talked about. Why are we married to elections within a system that is so dysfunctional that even your elections are highly questionable? That's what I think this kind of seems to be saying. So it goes beyond the election boycott or this mantra of no elections. He's instead saying there are issues that are more important than elections that need to be addressed first. Why this obsession with the elections within a system that is so sick, so dysfunctional? that when you deal with these issues first, elections will come naturally without any let or hindrance.
Oh, okay. At least we have heard it from the horse's mouth, from our lawyer, the knowledgeable barrister Aloy Jimako, who has bared his mind on what really happens, the way forward, and what has been done, and what is expected. Because the indigenous people of Biafra has already decided that we are not gonna vote. We are not talking about votes. We are not talking about elections. What we are talking about now is the freedom of our leader. And that freedom of our leader must come with the demands of the people. The people want self-determination, so which is also a guaranteed right. So the Nigerian state must stop, and not only the Nigerian state, the officials or the slave boys that they have in the various government houses in the East, they must know that their main task now is to see that our leader is freed unconditionally, because he has never committed any crime. Technically, as our lawyer have already said, that technically our leader is still in Kenya because he didn't go to Nigeria. So being there is a breach of international law. So because of that, the governors, the politicians, all those people asking us not to sit at home, all those people asking us that they want to contest election, they must do the needful immediately to release, to see that our leader is freed unconditionally. So I want us to look at what happened yesterday in Oyo State. According to Sarah reporter, he said that how Fulani bandits coordinated attacks on Oyo correctional facility to free the warlord Wakili and other herdsmen in detention. These are the things that is happening in Nigeria. Why you will not see, you see, when you go to Nigerian prisons or to the Nigerian police, you see them brandishing sophisticated guns and all that. But tomorrow, when you hear that there is bandits, there are terrorists killing people, you will not see the police, you will not see the military, you will not see all these security forces coming to kill or to chase these people. In a correctional center, a prison service like this has happened in Imo State, has happened in other places in Nigeria. When it happens in Imo State, they say it is ESN and the IPOB. Now, this one that happens in Oyo State, who is responsible? Is it IPOB? Is it MAZI Nnamdi Kanu? Is it ESN? So what surprises me so much is this: when all these things happen, you will not see any of the bandits, any of the terrorists, any of the invaders killed. You will not see them killed. But the policemen there, the warders there, the security people there, they have guns. Are you telling me that people, unknown gunmen, can just come and raise down a police station, kill people? None of the unknown gunmen is killed. None of the unknown gunmen is arrested. Whereas the police, the security people, they have guns. All these things are something we should be asking ourselves. Let me read this in this report from Sahara Reporters. This is October 24, 2021. And it said the attack on the Abolongo Correctional Facility, Oyo Town, in Oyo State, was planned and carried out by Fulani gunmen, believed also to be invading bandits. Sahara Reporters has learned top prison officials told Sahara Reporters on Saturday that the gunmen carried out the attack to free the detained notorious Fulani warlord Kalu Wakili and other criminal Fulani herdsmen in the facility. Sahara Reporters, however, reported that hundreds of inmates used the opportunity of the attack, which was carried out around 10 p.m. on Friday, to escape from the facility. Sources told Sahara reporters that the gunmen, 3 days before the Friday invasion, struck in Ogbomosho, a neighboring town to Oyo, and the security operatives were fully aware of their presence in the area. You see, the security operatives, who are heading these security operatives? The people heading these security operatives are the Fulanis. They are the one that gives command. When they see that these invaders are Fulani, they will never give any command until when these invaders complete their nefarious activities before you see the police coming to give a report. Let me continue. The attack in Oyo last night from the Ogbomosho axis was a well-coordinated Fulani attack aimed at securing the release of Wakili, the terrorist whom Sunday Adeyemo Igboho drove away from Ibarakpa. I am informed by my staff and very reliable people that he was the object of that attack last night at about 10 p.m. One of the top sources said the rest was just drama. My security staff told me the gunmen struck 3 days ago on the Oyo-Ogbomosho road, and around that time, their strange faces were also seen around an area the boys described to me. This was a well-coordinated attack with the objective to free Wakili and other Fulani inmates, he added. Sahara reporters had earlier reported that the entrance to the prison was blown with an explosive device, while security officials at the prison fled for their safety. Speaking with Sahara reporters on phone, the spokesman of the NCS, Olarewaju Anjorin, has said, yes, it has been confirmed that the attack actually happened. And right now, the controller of Nigerian Correctional Service, NCS, and other top officers are assessing the situation. But I can confirm to you that the incident actually happened. On March 7th, a joint team of Ibrakpa security operatives, including the Odua People's Congress, Vigilante, and other groups, had arrested the notorious Fulani warlord terrorizing Oyo communities, Wakili. Wakili had been arrested after several attempts resulting in a gun battle. There had been reports that Wakili and his gang were involved in the killings and kidnapping of several people in Ibarakpa, Okeogun, Oyo State. Wakili was nabbed barely 7 days after his second in command, Isiaka Muhammadu, was arrested alongside 4 others. The Areona Council of Yoruba Land, Gani Adams, had confirmed Wakili's arrest in a statement on June 7th. No fewer than 17 persons were reportedly shot dead by gunmen suspected to be herdsmen at Ibarakpa in the Ibarakpa North LGA. Residents had said the hoodlums invaded the town on motorcycles around 11 p.m. in an attack which continued until around 3 a.m. on Sunday. They had fingered Wakili's men on a revenge mission to be behind the attack. At daybreak, residents reported saw corpses of children and adults littered same places in the town, while houses and vehicles, including a truck loaded with cassava flour, were razed by the attackers. The convener, Iganga Development Advocates Oladiran Oladoku, had said the government set fire to houses to drive out the people, after which they opened fire on them. He said the government did not take the security seriously, adding that they had reported that the herdsmen were planning to attack them. So these are what is happening in Nigeria. We have continued to say this thing, that not only us, even the people in government, they have come out to reveal this secret that the Nigerian state, the Nigerian military, the Nigerian security forces, headed by the Fulanis, are colluding with all these terrorists that are killing people. They are colluding with all these terrorists that have been invading communities, killing many, many people on the process, but they have never been brought to any book. The Attorney General will come out and issue press conference concerning non-existent crime that was committed. But all these ones that are clear, glaring, you will not see them organize any press conference. In Nigeria, you see 50 people, 100 people are killed. The president will not say anything. Nobody says anything because it is normal to be killed in Nigeria. So these are the things that we must look into and defend ourselves, because the Nigerian state is in collaboration with the terrorists. There are terrorists in the government. There are terrorists that are in charge of the registration of your identities through what they call the NIN. So all these things are things that we, wherever we live, specifically we in Asia, we must understand what is going on in our land. I want to read another news. Yesterday, some youth corps members were abducted by the same Fulanis. They have been causing a lot of havoc in Nigeria, but they are not brought to book because the government is in cahoots with all these killers. Why is this government so much interested in terrorism? It is because they want to use terrorism to install the Fulanis on the ancestral lands of the people. This one says, panic in Zamfara NYSC camp as bandits abduct corps members. Bandits, these are terrorists. The Nigerian government, they have succeeded in hoodwinking the population and thereby turning the truth upside down. You remember when they were killing people in the Middle Belt, in Benue, in Taraba, they say it is farmers herders clash. Farmers herders clash. The Fulani, they come, they invade communities in the midnight when everybody is not expecting. They will invade, they will kill a lot of people, they will burn communities, they will burn household items. In the morning, the Nigerians said, they will say it is farmers herders clash. They will tell you that farmers herders clash has existed for a very long time, that it is because of cattle grazing routes. That is the reason why they are fighting. Whereas it is a lie, pure lie. The government's hand is in it. The government is sponsoring it for a purpose, for the purpose of Fulani takeover of the ancestral lands of the indigenous people that were unfortunately lumped into Nigeria. So that is what the situation is. There is nothing like farmers herders clash. So they have now metamorphosed from farmers herders clash to bandits. Because when you say bandits, it will douse it so that people will say, oh, it is just ordinary. In every society, there are bandits. But these are terrorists. These are terrorists that are being sponsored to cause chaos in Nigeria. The police confirmed the abduction of 2 corps members, but witnesses said more were abducted. Panic has set in among prospective corps members in Zamfara State following the abduction of some of their colleagues on their way to their orientation camp in Safe local government area of the state. Although the police confirmed the abduction of 2 prospective corps members along the Sheme-Safe highway in the state, witnesses said about 6 others were missing from the incident that occurred on Tuesday. The Safe holds the National Youth Service NYSC orientation camp in Zamfara. The police said a joint search and rescue operation was ongoing to rescue the abducted corps members and other victims. The police spokesman in the state, Muhammad Shehu, in a statement said the police commissioner in the state, Ayuba Elkana, has visited the camp and assured NYSC officials of the safety of the corps members. That is how they will continue to assure you of your safety. The more they assure you of your safety, the more you get inside the trouble. So there was a time they issued a notice to all the prospective youth corpers that they must prepare their family members to keep money available in case they are kidnapped. Because all this thing, they know that it is already there. The Nigerian state is in chaos. The Nigerian state is sponsoring this chaos that is ongoing. That is the reason why all these people committing these atrocities are never brought to book. Since 2015, all this thing has been happening. No Fulani terrorist has been prosecuted and convicted in Nigeria because the government protects them, because the government is an ethnic government whereby they have already assembled the Fulanis. Go to the judiciary, they are the head. They will appoint others. Go to the military, they are in command. They will put a southerner on the information so that when they are speaking, you see, when he speaks, you think it is, you now have a hatred for him because he's a southerner, but you don't know that he is being used. Our people are being used in Nigeria. Both the governors, they are being used. Both the politicians, they are being used. None of them have decisions of their own. That is the reason why a governor who is assumed to be the chief security officer of a state, but he have no command over the police. He have no command over any security outfit by the government in the state. So these are the reasons why, in as much as they have their own people at the command of this security, insecurity will continue because they were placed there to enable this insecurity that we are seeing. It is high time that we all understand what is playing out in Nigeria. The unknown gunmen that we are seeing in Nigeria today is sponsored by the Nigerian state. The governors in Nigeria are being used by the federal government to cause confusion within their states. That is what is happening. And the moment we understand this issue and work towards the disintegration of Nigeria, the better for all of us. The unknown gunmen, they are Nigerian police. The unknown gunmen, they are Nigerian police. How can a country, the state, be sponsoring these kind of things just to score a point against the people that are agitating for freedom?
The man is not a madman.
This is it.
Nothing is wrong with that man. The man always calling on no government, on no government. That is Nnamdi Kalu that sent him on no government to come and killing police people. One day he will carry the gun and started killing everybody. He woke up early in the morning. He didn't go anywhere. He just opened
Unknown
his door,
gunmen.
come out, started window, started shooting all those girls inside house, started shooting them. Immediately he saw my husband. He just God.
Unknown gunmen.
According to what my sister said, that some of the girls that he killed, that he shot inside, they were still sleeping. According to her, they were still sleeping inside. He had to break the movers and started shooting them inside. The cook was still inside there, so he shot the guy, but he was thinking that the guy is dead. So the guy now rushed inside the toilet and hid himself. It was when the guy now heard them people voices outside. That was when the guy came out. By then, he has told the SAS people that it was unknown gunmen that was shooting the whole thing. Meanwhile, it was him.
Because I was washing clothes, I just opened it. I saw the man. I should have asked that man what is going on, because if you know the man is our neighbor. We normally use staying with the man and discussing, talk, laugh. The man is not a drunkard. The man even is not a smoker. I used to stay with the man. We used to talk. When my husband opened the gate, she saw the man to come and ask that man what is going on. Who is the person that shooting the girl? And you don't know that it's the man. He went to go and see. Immediately he saw my husband. Just, God. I just deceased my husband's stomach. He shot him 3 bullets in the stomach and 2 bullets in the hand.
So he now had to rush to the main road calling for help. So people couldn't come out because everybody was afraid. Until one man now came with his boss. He went to like 3 hospitals and they rejected him.
Why?
Because of gunshots.
Because of Nigeria now, once it's gunshots, they will not treat you until they get police reports. Even the people in Parkland, the reason they started treating them was because police now came.
Yes.
That was the reason why they started taking care of these people. If not, they wouldn't have.
But policeman, open mouth, say the man is a drunkard. The man is a drunkard. The man is my neighbor. Since I know the man, I've never seen the man drink chocolates or smoke, but then turn it to a drunkard. Which drunkard? Even the place where the man they live, they have never seen the man carry drink in the hand, chocolates or food in the mouth. The man is not a drunkard. That policeman that say the man is a drunkard, that means it's the two of them have the business in that compound. That man is not a drunkard.
I think the purpose of doing all those things, shooting anyone that sees him, is because he doesn't want anybody to know that he was the one doing it. And he never knew that the cook was still alive. He even called one of his police officer for him to come down. That one said no, that he's not around.
And he told him to come.
Yes, that one should come with his uniform. That unknown gunmen are here shooting people. That was what he now told SAS when SAS came. That was now what he told SAS people. So until the cook now came out, assuming the cook didn't come out, nobody would have known that he was the one that did it. When they do all those things, they tag it IPOB or all those things. So why would police be killing people and they will start accusing innocent citizens, innocent youths? Because me, I don't understand. Because this policeman purposely did this thing, and I heard he was saying that he will confess. So I want to hear that his confession. And he pretended that he was not the one, even helping police to look for the people doing it. Imagine that kind of thing. 2 girls survived.
IPOB.
2 girls and they
or IPOB, yes.
Died immediately with my friend's husband and one other
gate man opposite
their house.
That 2 girls that died immediately, they are from Cotonou. That boy, maybe an Hausa boy, Joshua, now he be gate man. You understand? And that one they shoot on Abdul Hausa man again. He's still there for Parkland. But that 3 people died instantly. Plus that gate man went there.
The guy under the gutter that he shoot to his 2 legs was the one that used his phone and called his brother at the Blue Gate. Then the brother now called the main organ. That's when the organ now called the officer there. Then officer now rushed and come. Okay. You understand? That's how they know what is happening. You understand now? That's how they know what's happening.
So his magazine didn't finish.
Yes, he didn't finish. Even when the officer came, he have cocked another one. He cocked another one. The first one finished. He now fixed another one to start shooting again. But unfortunately, the other officer now came and now told him that he heard that you are the one shooting. He said no, that it was unknown government that came. That thank God he have killed 2 people. You understand? Then the cook inside now started shouting that somebody should hear that it was him that shooting on, that was killing everybody here. That nothing like unknown government.
So, what is the name of this police officer?
We don't know his name.
We called him
Normally,
officer.
we used to call them officer.
Officer
or Mopo. That's what we used to
So they don't wear their names?
No.
Except they are going
Except
to work.
they are going to work.
If Oga is around.
When they are going to work with Oga, they will not wear
but Oga is not around.
They will just wear mufti.
So the Oga is not around?
No, the man is not. He's a white man. He's not around. All I want is for justice to be served. They should. But for me, I want them to find out what made the man to do this kind of a thing. Because so far as we are concerned, we used to play with them, they used to sit down and talk. So for him to now wake up in the morning and started shooting the people he's protecting, people that is living inside the same compound, the people that he's working with, and killing other people, both passerby. I heard a pregnant woman shot them.
As for now, I'm not doing anything. I can't train these children. I can't even bring money for food. But to send them to school. Let government to come and help me. So I will see who will get my children. So that we can eat. Let government help. Let them help. Let them come and help me.
So this is what we are saying. The unknown gunman, as we know it, is being sponsored by the Nigerian state. Even all these Fulanis that we always see in the bushes with machine guns and the RPGs, they are the ones that the government recruits and send them to go and carry out all these attacks. Some of them are drawn from DSS and the police, and they are sent as unknown gunmen. Because the Nigerian state, since 2015, Nigerian state has been doing everything within her power to see that IPOB becomes violence so as to justify the terrorist tag. So that is the reason. And IPOB, we have been peaceful. We are not terrorists. We don't kill. We don't commit crime. We restricted our agitation within the ambits of both international and the local domestic laws. So the Nigerian state is involved. They know what they are doing. Unknown gunmen, all these killings going on in Nigeria is politically motivated because the government thrives on violence and chaos in order to establish and advance the Fulani invasion and occupation of ancestral lands. In another news, in another development, there is a video whereby the Turkish government, the Turkish president is accused of supplying weapons to these Boko Haram people. Before I go there, there is a news that Boko Haram terrorists invade Yobe community. This Yobe community, you see what is going on in Nigeria now. You see the Inspector General of Police, the Minister of Defense, all these top security officials, their respective villages, their respective communities are being occupied by these terrorists. Most of their people in those communities are paying daily ransom to terrorists. But all these people, all these big men, all these officers, all these high-rank officials of the Nigerian government, that their communities are under siege, that their communities are under siege by the real terrorists. They are not They are not sending the Tucano jets there to go and bomb them. They are not sending special military forces with their military tanks to go there and destroy their communities. You see the reason why we are agitating to be free from Nigeria? Because we are treated differently. There are laws for different people. So how can such a society develop? Boko Haram is invading communities in the north. The so-called bandits are killing, abducting school children to the extent that the ICC, International Criminal Court, they say that they have commenced investigation on the abduction of school children in the north. But in our land, they send the Boko Haram that they have recruited into the army, they send it to Olo, they send it to Osu, they send them to Izombe, they send them to Ohafia to go and kill, to go and destroy, to go and burn communities, to go and commit atrocities. The last time they killed the father of Tompolo in Baramatu Kingdom, they even stole the staff of authority of the kingdom, the Nigerian military. They have no respect for our land. Look at how they humiliated our elder, Dr. Chukwuemeka Eze, a former governor. They humiliated him at the Federal High Court. Because why? We are not wanted in Nigeria. And some of these, our elders are still forcing us to continue to be part of this humiliation. And I am telling Biafrans today, our generation, we are a lucky generation and we are a blessed generation. And we must use this blessing that our generation have to make sure that we rise our name in gold, because we have the internet, which our fathers do not have. When our fathers defended our land, there was a media silence all over the world. Nobody knows what was happening, because if people knew what was happening, I don't think that we would have lost up to 10 million people in that war. So our generation, we are a blessed generation, and we must use this blessing to see that we liberate ourselves from this enslavement that is called Nigeria. So let me read this news before I round up. Suspected Boko Haram terrorists in about 10 gun trucks in the early hours of Saturday invaded Katarko village in Gujba local government area of Yobe State. A source who spoke to Daily Post from a hidden place said the attackers drove into the village in a convoy of gun trucks at about 8 a.m. in the morning, shooting sporadically. He said troops stationed in the community engaged the attackers. We had to run for our lives, he said. It was also gathered that there was reinforcement by troops of Sector 2 with support from the A component of Operation Hadinkai. Details of the attacks were still sketchy as of the time of filing this report. Katako village, which is about 20 kilometers away from Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, had previously suffered from Boko Haram attacks. You see, the Nigerian military, they will only say, oh, troops engage them, but you will not see any evidence. They will only say, oh, they engage, but you will not see any evidence. But you see the terrorists, when they do something, they will show you evidence. You will see it, you will know that, yes, they did it. But a conventional Nigerian army, you will not see them with any evidence. they will just lie. Why you will not see them with any evidence is because they are involved. So they didn't do anything. They're just giving stories. So look at how this report about Turkey
is supplying
supporting
weapons to the terrorist
these
group
terrorists.
Boko Haram in Nigeria. 10 TV host Nashat Al-Delhi reported on a leak confirming an intercepted phone call from a few years back confirming the action. He reported in part, today's leak confirms without a doubt that Erdogan, his state, his government, and his party are transferring weapons from Turkey to, this is a shock, to where you may ask, to Nigeria. And to whom? To the Boko Haram organization. Well, Raymond Ibrahim, a journalism fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center and an expert on the Middle East and Islam, joins us now with more on this. Welcome, Raymond.
Hello, Heather.
Are you surprised by this report? What's your take on it?
No, I'm not surprised. And my take on it is that the actual tape that was made that you referenced and you quoted was made apparently in 2014 or 15. And it was reported widely in certain areas in the US and in the West, not so much, and not much came out of it. And the reason, I think, is because Erdogan wasn't so, didn't have his fingers so much in Islamist politics outside of his own nation. But now that we've seen, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the ISIS Islamic State Caliph that was killed recently, and he was found just 3 miles from the Turkish border, which is in fact one of the last, or if not the last bastion of jihadi so-called freedom fighters attacking the Syrian government. It's brought it up again, the fact that everyone is saying, well, look, he's supporting ISIS. So now we're remembering, and that was, I think, the point of the Egyptian show. We're bringing back to see that there's some continuity here. It's not just right next door to Syria, to Turkey, meaning Syria. He's involved with some of the absolute worst Islamic terror groups. Remember, Boko Haram, which its name loosely means Western education is forbidden, haram, was basically doing what ISIS is notorious for years before ISIS. So the whole, head chopping, crucifying, massacres, enslaving women and children, burning people alive, Boko Haram was doing that. And one of the things that international observers have been noticing, especially increasingly, is that their armaments, their weapons, are very sophisticated.
Television.
The top general of U.S. Special Operations.
And there is also this other report that says that the Nigerian officials always leak information to Boko Haram. It's on record. And all these things are going on, happening. This is
Command in Africa is warning that Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and other Islamic terror groups are now trying to take over parts of the continent's most populous nation. Major General Dagvin Anderson says Muslim terrorists have set their sights on Nigeria's southern and northwestern regions, and the U.S. is now sharing specific intelligence with the country.
So this intelligence sharing is absolutely vital, and we stay fully engaged with the government of Nigeria to provide them an understanding of what these terrorists are doing.
Their goal? Eventually turn Nigeria into a Muslim country and force Christians, who make up half the country's population, to either leave or convert.
Christians are in the eye of the target, and they're coming after them.
And the numbers are staggering. August 6th, Muslims stormed 4 remote Christian villages in Kaduna State, killing 22 villagers. July 24th, 21 dead, scores injured, and several Christian homes destroyed by militants. July 19th, 19 people killed when assailants armed with guns and machetes attacked a wedding reception. And the list goes on. Leading human rights groups say what's going on in Nigeria is a genocide.
If you look at what's happened on the last 20 years, George, it's just massive number of attacks against Christians, Look, 50 to 70,000 have been murdered.
For years, the main terror group was Boko Haram, which seeks to overthrow the government here and create an Islamic State.
They go after Christians and moderate Muslims. They push a hardline Muslim agenda. It is their intention to establish a caliphate and to just rid all of Nigeria and West Africa of any Western influence whatsoever.
Now, there's a new actor on the scene. In Nigeria's so-called Middle Belt region, where the Muslim North meets the Christian South, a terror group made up of Muslim Fulani herders are killing thousands of Christians. More than 1,400 Christians were hacked to death in just the first 7 months of 2020 by Fulani herders.
Unfortunately, the secular media are quite often biased and trying to present this as a tribal conflict rather than religious.
Nigeria's president, a Muslim, has so far done very little to stop the bloodshed. His police and army are also mostly made up of Muslims.
The attackers are never captured. They are not prosecuted. The security services respond very slowly. A full day can go on with attacks happening and no security shows up. And frequently, the government officials will provide cover.
Helpless and vulnerable to almost daily attacks, leading Catholic bishops are now urging Nigerian Christians to defend themselves. Human rights groups are asking the White House to appoint a special envoy to help end the persecution of Christians in Nigeria.
Unless the world takes note and puts pressure, economic pressure, sanctions, visa bans on the officials who are responsible for this travesty and for not reining in the terror, then Nigeria will continue to be a bloodbath.
Meanwhile, King's Group is helping more than 3,000 Christians who lost their businesses, homes, farms, or land to Boko Haram and Fulani militant attacks. International Christian Concern has created communal farms to give victims the opportunity to rebuild their lives.
When they get back to work, the family is fed, they have a future, the kids can go back to school. It's a restoration of hope, it really is.
Would you walk us through the Boko Haram offensive?
Boko Haram offensive was really not part of executive outcomes. That was STEP International that actually partook in that offensive. I need to first of all make it very clear that we were a subcontractor. There was a prime contractor appointed that appointed us as a subcontractor. Our initial aim was not Boko Haram per se, but it was to rescue the Chibok girls. They were the girls that had been kidnapped and where the Western response was #SaveTheGirls. That type of nonsense does not save girls. Unfortunately, these girls became victims of a situation where the security had broken down in a specific area. They were kidnapped, and that was the first mission, rescue the Chibok girls. We then did a selection process of the Nigerian soldiers. The soldiers were retained after the selection process, were then trained in a very specific way to conduct a hostage rescue operation, and that requires a very specific type of person. However, approximately 5 or 6 weeks into the training of the hostage rescue team, we were asked to change our mission, and that mission was to go to a town called Maiduguri in northeast Nigeria that had come under severe threat of Boko Haram. We then rapidly had to transition what we were doing and suddenly train a very offensive force with a minimum of equipment, and we rushed to Maiduguri. We met with the 7th Infantry Division commander. We finally understood the pressures he was under, and our suggestion was to him that this force we had trained, which we named the 72nd Mobile Strike Force, would actually spearhead the division. And that is precisely what we did. The operation was in 3 phases. The first phase was to actually cut a dividing line across northeastern Nigeria and isolate Boko Haram into 2 defined areas, and then mop up one area in the south was the start, and after that was done, mop up in the north. The division would follow behind, occupy terrain. We would train the division in situ in defensive positions, etc. but we were never allowed to execute the entire operation. So in 1 month, we took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing. I think President Jonathan's government possibly saw the entire Boko Haram contract, if we call it that, almost as a last gasp in order to regain popularity. The incoming president, President Buhari, was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US. And I'm not saying that the United States is bad. I understand foreign interests, but I would have thought that a threat such as Boko Haram on the integrity of the state of Nigeria ought to be actually a priority. It wasn't.
Why do you think the US would intervene to abort such operation?
Again, I can't answer that. I think that the US can answer, but what I've come to realize that is when a government's foreign interests clash with the state's own domestic interests, conflict is bound to ensue. And those conflicts usually just continue with no end. And we can look at all the conflicts in Africa where foreign forces have come in, they've prolonged those conflicts, they haven't ended those conflicts. And the amount of money and manpower and equipment thrown at those conflicts says...
So we have seen what transpired in 2015 when Jonathan left office. All the contractors that were defeating Boko Haram were disengaged because the new government in power is in cahoots or working or is the patron of this same Boko Haram that we are talking about. So these are the things that we must continue to recall in order for us to understand what is happening today, because the build-up started in 2015, and today all of us, we can see the nature of Nigeria now, the level of insecurity in Nigeria. So these are the things, when you put all the dots together, you will understand that the Nigerian state is the sponsor of terrorism. The Nigerian state knows all the terrorist activities that is going on in Nigeria. The jailbreak that just happened on Saturday in Oyo State was conducted by the Fulanese in order to free their warlord who is in detention. So when you see unknown gunmen killing in Imo State, in Anambra State, know that it is the state that is sponsoring it. That is the reason why the Attorney General, in the press conference, he started pointing out all these things, the one that they have killed, trying to rope in the IPOB into it without any evidence. So this is the end of the program today. Just want us to reason together and understand what is going on and advise our loved ones back home to be careful and send them things that they will use to sustain themselves during this period of lockdown. Because the indigenous people of Biafra, we are going to lock our nation down until our leader is freed. So that is the message. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll have another date tomorrow. God bless you as you join me again the next day. Thanks.